What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Tim Witherspoon, Mike Tyson, Anthony Joshua, Tyson the Gypsy King Fury, and Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. Get this. Tim Witherspoon believes Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, and Deontay Wilder wouldn't even last if they competed in Mike Tyson's era. The modern giants of boxing, such as Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, and Deontay Wilder, would not have been able to handle the level of competition of previous eras, Tim Witherspoon believes. Witherspoon is a former two-time heavyweight world champion, having held the WBC title in 1984 and the WBA strap in 1986 during Iron Mike's reign. The heavyweight from Philadelphia took on some of the biggest names in the sport during his career that spanned 24 years, including Larry Holmes and Frank Bruno. Speaking to Sunsport, Witherspoon said, "A lot of boxers today, the thing is they wouldn't even last if they were fighting in our era. There's not enough really tough heavyweights out there today on our level. The thing is we had a lot more better and tougher fights when we were coming up." Witherspoon did admit, however, that the money and the business side of boxing has seen drastic improvements since his days in the ring. "I think the fans aren't getting the fights that we did back in the day. We don't see the skill these days, but they're getting more money. They're getting more money and the praises that we should have got. I'm not trying to take anything away from them, but I shouldn't have made away, or I should have made away way more money back then, fighting one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, Larry Holmes. Today, it's the big money. I wish I was fighting Deontay Wilder and Mike and Tyson Fury, who are getting all these millions." As it stands, we know Dillian White's taking on Tyson the Gypsy King Fury, and we're waiting to see what Deontay Wilder's going to do. And that being said, people, let me counterpunch. I think a lot of this is happening because of business. A lot of things, should I say, that's not happening is because of business. Okay, I think people are getting greedy. I think people are unappreciative. And then you got a guy like Tim Witherspoon, a two-time heavyweight champion, that didn't get that money like that. Okay, and he would love to get the money that they have today. But of course, money meant a lot more back then. So I don't know what his fight purses were per se, but it was nothing like the money they're getting today. Bars. So you can't help but to hear a little bitterness in Tim Witherspoon, and the way he's saying it. He's like, "Hey, I wish I was in my prime right now. I would be whooping these guys and getting these millions." And they're not fighting the top competition. And this is what I think. I think that business back in those days didn't really result in a lot of money or a lot of risk versus reward. We just seen the reward was we've seen the best fights. The risk were the fighters that fought the best got the best results if they could pull it off. Okay, so yeah, things have changed. Floyd Mayweather came in along with other fighters, that followed him and his minions. They changed the sport of boxing the way it was. And people stopped taking risk. That's what we see. You see Jamal Charlo on Mike Tyson, and Mike Tyson, his mentality was so much different than Jamal Charlo. And you have somebody like Jamal Charlo saying, "You know what? I don't have any friends in boxing, but I won't disrespect them." Like, what the fuck is that? Dude, you got like 2 felonies on you right now for doing shit that you want to do, but you can't call out a couple names of some people you say you want. But the real thing is, Jamal Charlo is getting paid decent money, and he's not worth taking risk for these guys that want to fight him. So he's not going out of his way and making it relevant for these guys to call out, because he doesn't really want to fight these guys. Why? Because he doesn't really have to. He went his whole career without fighting tough opposition like that, or top opposition. And if he was going to risk it all or anything at this point of his career, he would do it for the money, or he would do it for the guy that brings the money. Okay, so back to what Tim Witherspoon's saying. These fighters of this day, like Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, could they last? I don't really think they could. Let's be real. I don't think they could. I think Joshua would have eventually got beat, maybe by someone that could box like he did with Alexander Usyk. Wilder would have been exposed a long time ago, and Tyson Fury may have the best run, but somebody would have got to him too. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think that's what it is, and we're having hell even seeing these guys fight each other, the guys that I just mentioned. So, Tim Witherspoon, going back to him, he's just showing you the difference between yesteryear and what we're seeing today. Okay, we could see some good fights if these fights could get made, but politics and business and bullshit and fear are stopping these fights from getting made. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Tim Witherspoon saying that these guys, Joshua, Fury, and Wilder, couldn't even compete in his era. Tell me what you think. Please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.